Welcome.
Oi.
Did you like that? Did you like that little poster I got? This is me 3 years ago, and I thought I was gonna piss my pants. A little bit of a chaperone moment. A little bit of a, oh, who is she? My hair fell all out after this moment. Trust me, this never lasted. Welcome back to another video. Obviously, you know what I'm gonna talk about. It's been on everybody's mind, but kind of not really, because I haven't really seen like a lot of noise about the finale. I haven't really heard much online, honestly. And after I finished the finale, my face was like, That's it. After the finale, me and my sister simultaneously went on TikTok because we can't garner our own point of view or perspective anymore. We have to see what everyone else is saying so we can either agree or disagree. And in that time where we're silent and nonverbal and scrolling and reading other people's comments on like little clips people post in between, we saw that there was like a 50-50. There was a 50-50 of people being like, love the last finale. I loved it so much. Oh my god, top tier moment. Peak cinema. And then I saw 50% that hated it, and I was with that 50%. So no, but I saw like a good amount of pushback and a good amount of good things. And I'm a big The Boys fan. I've been around since the first season. I used to watch it with my ex-boyfriend, and we would religiously divulge in the season 1 and how good it was. And I'm a long time enthusiast, and even last year I made a video about it. The sound quality is really bad, but anyways. I am a huge Boys fan because I loved season 1 and season 2. Even though season 2 wasn't the same as season 1, I felt like I loved the severity of it. I loved the chaotic and the intellectual ideas around media and around companies. And I'm always on my soapbox saying billionaires are the fucking scum of the earth. And it was saying everything I needed. So when this season came out and the finale came out, I was quite disappointed. My connective tissue here is why everyone's saying, guys, it was peak, it was so good, guys, you were asking for too much, is because it's like the Stranger Things effect. If you remember, last year in December, everyone was like holding down their seats. Like there was 3 different releases of episodes. One was like on Christmas Day, and then one was on New Year's. And I remember Christmas Day, everyone was really like, I don't think this is actually gonna be good. I'm scared.
See, wake up!
Turns out like everyone was just hoping that they weren't gonna massacre their favorite show, and what did they do on New Year's? They did just that. They massacred that boy. They massacred him, and everyone kind of went so delusional. Like there was that whole, what is it called, season 9 gay or something gay. Everyone went into like hysteria, being like, oh, there must be another episode, but if not, this is good. Everyone has a happy ending, so that means this is a good ending. This is a good end of the show. And I am so sorry to say this, the boys, the fans, or the new fans have succumbed to this rhetoric, because yeah, just because everyone gets a happy ending and everything sounds like it's like everything's nice and it's tied in a nice bow, doesn't mean that bow is like a sustainable, nice looking bow. It's just something that holds it all together to say, hey, we gave everyone a good ending, guys. You can't be mad at us if you give us a good ending. Shut up! I'm gonna fucking go to your house, Seth Rogen, and I'm gonna put my Homelander eyes on, and then I'll zoom your fucking nuts off like Frenchie. Because I also, did you guys know that I might be just a dumbass here. I didn't pass year 12 of my math, so maybe I'm just a dumbass here. But I didn't even know Frenchie's balls got lasered off when he died. Rip. Spoiler alert. Oh! I have a lot of thoughts, and I think it's not fair to label it as a good ending, because everyone gets a good ending and everyone can be happy, and oh look, Starlight is pregnant now, and oh look, Butcher gets a good way to die, and like all this sort of stuff, when there's a big underlining issue and there was a lot of bad shit that comes up to it. So let's talk about it. But don't you see that, like, so many times when people just want to like sustain an idea of their show and be like, oh yeah, it was actually a good ending. They just cling on to the hope of something, because if they cling on to that hope, that means the writers didn't actually fuck us over. They just had something else thing, and they want to see us for the best of the world. No, you have a duty to keep doing good stuff. What is it, Peter Parker?
With great power comes great responsibility.
Responsibility, bitch. Anyways, I think the season was shit. I think the finale was shit, and let's talk about it. Also, I'm gonna take this off because this is huge. This is taking up like all the screen. Let's just be honest with each other. It never had that source after season 1, and that's a shame. That was like a thing that kind of happened all at once, and then it couldn't be carried on to the second season. But the second season still had good bones. It had still good bones. So I don't think it was that bad. Sometimes when you can't replicate an aura or like a theme for the rest of the show, but you have to come close to it every single time. But I feel like they were so in their head, they didn't want to like study themselves that much, and they kept like putting it aside and being like, oh yeah, no, we couldn't ever recapsulate that they never really took a little bit of a look in to see why couldn't they ever capsulate that. So think about it. Season 3 kind of starts getting shits, and then 4 was like the big like, oh my god, what is happening? And then 5, everyone was kind of, when I started watching season 5, I was really excited because I wasn't even gonna watch the first episode. I was so mad after making my video last year. I didn't even feel like watching the new season. I was not excited. I wasn't counting down like everyone else. I was just kind of in a stalemate where I was like, okay, it's out, whatever. But then my sister told me that it was a really good first episode, so I watched it, and you know what? It kind of fucking slapped, honestly. And like, maybe it's because in the moment, if someone gives you a plate of gold after you've been continuously getting like shit with hairs on it, it's been grated down like parmigiana onto the fucking doo-doo that you have, you kind of become like, no thank you. But it showed up, it kind of encapsulated a lot of aspects people were like looking out for and missing in a lot of scenarios. But then I realized, as soon as it started setting in, a lot of problems were already at the beginning of the episode. So when I saw Homelander and there was this tense, weird build-up, when it's revealed that flight video is finally out in public, and now Homelander has been outed, something he's been holding back for years now, to him being in front of a bunch of people, I genuinely thought he was gonna laser them all to abysmal, because you've been foreshadowing that every fucking season. I'm waiting. I'm in my seat. I'm ready for him. He's the biggest crash out of the fucking internet. So I'm expecting a crash out. That was the point where I was like, oh wait, this might actually be more of so the same, because then the pacing started being so weird and missy-dissy. The problem with the boys is they don't really know how to mesh scenes together with characters while still upholding their really weird, now warped sense of satire, where it's not satire anymore, like I discussed in the first video. It's edgy, not really nice, digestible humor. It used to feel like cheeky and on the nose, and it used to feel like really like realistic and funny. Especially, I can think the first one is fucking A-Train. The A-Train's Pepsi ad thing, that was hilarious. Kind of like slowly moved away from that and been like, do you guys like shock value? Here's 10 dicks. Like, I'm gonna say this a lot. I talked about a lot of the problems in the last video. One of them was, there's like this thing that once you see it, you kind of can't unsee it. Whenever like they have like one of those sit down talks with characters and they're trying to build development on them, they just kind of repeat the same sort of formula where they start with a sad story. They're talking about their sad story and how it's symbolic to what that other person is going through, and then they make like a quippy little edgy joke in between about bulls and like I don't know, Homelander getting his milk sucked or something. Then they just say it outright and say it's relating to you guys, and if I was the dove and I would want to set the dove free, it's something that you start noticing every conversation that you see with the characters, and it's labeled as character development, and it gets really old really quickly. And I'm really happy in some of these episodes they really did try. I'm not saying that the season didn't try. It did not go on levels of, like, I don't know, Stranger Things. A lot of people just like equate, hey, it's not as bad as Stranger Things, so it's better, and you guys are complaining and everything in between that. And even in the first episode, they talk about like finales and how it's really hard to make a finale ending.
Drive the action to the climax. Drive the action to the climax.
Oh my God, Seth Rogen, you gotta chill out, mate. It's you don't have to fucking tell us everything. Oh my God, it pisses me off when writers of shows or directors, they border the line between like not knowing how to display an aspect or a theme or like an idea, so they just tell the audience in a different character, but you can just hear their voice. It's like Sam Levinson being like, oh, I love getting beat, yeah, and I'm gonna sexualize it, but I'm saying it because I'm Lily Rose Depp. But you can literally see Sam Levinson holding her throat being like, yes, say it, hookers are bad, yeah. Oh, I'm getting a little jolly. I fucking hate when directors do that, because it's like, shut up, let me hear the characters I've been investing in. And a lot of people be like, oh, you know, like pacing is going to be hard this season, but they throw in so many unnecessary little gags and little things, and before it was like, okay, because we're not trying to waste time, you know, we got time with the other seasons, there's no finale, this isn't the last season, so we can fuck around and find out. But this is literally the last season, and we're going around doing this miscellaneous fun little montages of like the Deep and his lotion projects and like products, and we have to sit and watch Seth Rogen and like the Supernatural cast literally have like a fun little interaction with the media, because they're like, oh, you know, I think it'd be really fun if we did a day at set of just doing that one thing, and then we all get killed in the thing. And I love passion, but you're only doing this so you can have fun, man. Like, you're only doing this so you can have fun, and you can be like, oh yeah, this is a little quirky thing, I'm like Shyamalan, you know, like I star in the things that I'm proud of. What about it? Please don't do that. Please stop doing it. It just takes you out of the story. The pacing this season was not good. Everything kind of pushes you to a point where you think, it's going to move on and things are going to start picking up, and severity and everything will start to feel more and more intense, but it doesn't ever pick up. This is exactly what Stranger Things' problem was when I talked about it. When you end a season, like season 4, in such a big way, like, yeah, season 4 was a shit season, but the ending kind of fucking warped everyone back into like, oh, you know what, there are stakes now. Frenchie is getting kidnapped, and Huey just got kidnapped, and it's World War Z. You know, like, when you bring that to the table, you're gonna have to start off really fucking strong, and you have to start like it as a world-ending event. You can't make all this build up and say this is the last season and not make it world-ending. What do they do? They fucking water it down again. And like, they finally release the video that we've been talking about for years and years and years about like the plane thing. I understand it's like, oh, that actually is realistic. People would say it's AI. But you can't hype a material up so much and be like, this is world ending. This is going to be destructive. And then you don't even like, you talk about it for 2 seconds and then you move on. It's crazy. This whole series has been building up to this big climactic event that is going to be catastrophic. And Homelander is this ticking time bomb, and he's under the pulp, and he's gonna fucking go off. And I could go on to another sentiment, which is Homelander has been significantly dumbed down over the series and become less and less scary. And people would be like, oh, actually, they made Homelander scary for that one scene with Frenchie. That's one fucking scene. That's one scene. One scene of him being scary. And I know the point is they're trying to make him a joke, and like they're trying to make his like aspirations and him not be as like, it's not like Patrick Bateman or like other like things like the Joker, where people like look up to this man and they make like edits of him. And I think that's been the pushback, because that's why Joker 2 was made, and then they made him a little bit of a joke in that, and then they wait. Daddy? Cardi, why are you in this? Made Homelander more like stupid because like they don't want that like characterization in boys, which is good, but like you have to do the balance, man. You can't just say that he's just a joke full on period. Like he's a character. You made him really smart in season 1. Like he literally devised plans. He knew what happened to translucent before anyone else at Vought knew. And Vought is like the big baddie. He literally made the idea of, hey, we should incentivize villain superheroes and we should do that, and he literally came up with the fucking American flag as his fucking cape. So he's a really smart person. He's very scary.
You fucking cocksucker.
Yeah, he does have fucking daddy issues. He has a lot of validation issues, but he's never been this person that is purely caring about the public completely and utterly. He doesn't really care about the public. He cares about the idea of the public, but he still thinks he's better than them. He's no longer overpowered. He's supposed to be like the dupe of Superman, but he doesn't have that power of Superman. He's just there. He's just there. Like I thought by now that they would kind of understand what made season 1 so good. Like the of course the humor is such a big part of it, and the candidness and the realism of it, and how things can be so like ridiculous, but also it can be threatening. Like I can understand that, but I can't understand how much they have made this whole idea of this show a joke in their heads, that they literally can't take it seriously. They have transformed their satirical like take on things and made it like a little bit of a humor here and there, but it's been a serious character study of these characters. They made them so redundant that it's now just edgy short form of shock value that no longer makes anything feel like a story anymore. It just feels like these people and these characters are just running around trying to figure out what to do next, and there's no rhyme or reason or story to it. None of the characters feel connected anymore like they did in season 1. They had to come together and they had relationships in it. It just feels very disconnected. It doesn't really feel like they care for each other, or like they even really care about what's going on. Then they're reinforcing these other ideals that they've perpetuated in Gen V with their humor, and now like they just think dick funny, naked funny, like asshole funny, like things like it feels like a 13-year-old's sense of humor. Things that are just like, okay, I've seen this done like a million times. Like, oh, the guy is going through the asshole. This shit gets redundant after a bit. This season is supposed to be the time when you're like shining the light on the serious stuff. Like the ending was supposed to encapsulate, hey, this is no longer any silly willy things. This is all serious from now on. But now we're just reforming back because we're too scared. We're too scared of maybe deviating and making people upset. We're too scared because we've been highlighting these other aspects for so long, so we can't just give up. But you can just give it up. Like this season is literally telling us that Homelander has taken over US soil and has now ingrained himself into a fascist state. The Huey and the boys were in like a camp of some sort. I don't know. It feels wrong. It feels wrong just to like make like a sense of humor around the idea of concentration camps
or detention centers for ICE. Because it could be those two implications, either or.
And that's just, that's weird. And you would think that the show would care about that because they have an IDF soldier playing Frenchie. Disgusting.
It's upsetting that he's a good actor, that he can fool us into playing this comforting character when he's literally destroying people's lives, running into people's homes and displacing them, taking girls from their families at night. Free Palestine. Fuck you.
Free Palestine. But I think some of these humors just feel so like, you know, like they just want to shock people. And we don't know what happened to the boys at the end of season 4. So what is happening to them now? All these serious stuff, and it's supposed to be a fascist state, but we never see the full impact of it. We don't ever see the public's like reaction or like anything in between. Like we see like ideas
of ICE in America, and we see examples of some crowds, and even a reaction video of Homelander getting fucking killed at the end. But it's quite just like little bits and pieces of ideas. We don't get a general big moment from people and get the better idea of it. What I'm trying to say is you're giving us a bunch of ideas, but that you're not giving us a fully immersed world in it. You can spit out a bunch of ideas, and you can spit out Firecracker met up with a priest, and the priest now is going out of business, and then he got raided, and I don't know if he's got killed or not. You can give us those ideas, but if you don't have them as impactful and they don't immerse you into the world, and it's just like bits and pieces of the news reiterating something that you don't want to show us on a large scale, like a crowd of people on the street. Like you're showing us crowds of people in fucking vault buildings, but you don't show us what's actually your day-to-day. Like, it's world building, and world building is the most hardest technique in making it into film. So I didn't really talk about this properly in this section, so this is what I'm gonna finish with.
We have this deadly virus that we've been making in Gen V for 2 seasons, and this is a serious virus that is gonna be huge, and it's gonna play a big role in the narrative. And I'm still not happy about the Marvel kind of aspects. Like, you have to watch the spin-off show in order to kind of understand this, and I think they picked that up a bit on this season. But also, again, it's about commitment. If you're gonna make 2 seasons of a show and say you have to watch these 2 seasons and it has a deadly virus and it's important to the narrative, then you have to fucking stick to those characters and you have to integrate them at the end. This is supposed to be this thing that is absolutely gonna kill Homelander. They just don't know how to pull it off. And then the fucking deadly virus becomes so unimportant to the narrative. It literally is thrown out near the last 2 episodes, and it's made redundant, even though they've been working on this for so fucking long. It's ridiculous. Marie is gonna kill Homelander. Marie is overpowered. Marie is in control of her powers now.
What's our next move?
Pack it up, you guys are done.
Well, I'm sorry. What are you talking about?
It's over, okay? So just tell those other guys to run while they can, however they can, yeah?
Hold on, that's it?
They just peace out. Starlight's like, oh no, you're not ready. Nah, you got more important business at this other place, taking care of people. Yeah, all that build up, nothing. You get nothing. Like, you can't do that. You can't fucking add people and then take them away. I'm gonna say something controversial. Actually, no, it's not. It really isn't. It's not that deep. The Deep should have fucking died way earlier than fucking the finale. Like, they've been, this is what I mean about the pacing and miranding around and doing shit. Because we follow a large portion of this season of the Deep and the new Black Noir, who is an actor. We follow them doing like a podcast, like a bro podcast, and then they have fights, and it's like it's kind of played into laughs, and then they're gonna fight these 2 guys. We're building like tension between it, and then they just kill Black Noir's new character, and then they just kill off the Deep again. I did like the Deep's death. Like, I enjoyed that, but like, you could have done this so much earlier. And what was all that stuff about with that aspect? Because like, it doesn't make any sense. This is what I mean when I'm saying they mess around a lot this season, and they just don't know what direction they're going into, and every episode feels like full of filler. It feels full of filler. Like, it's where you don't really need to know about these jokes and these dynamics, because they're not adding to the story. It's not because they're both dead, because characters can have like aspects or dynamics or parts of their story that is really integral to the story, and they can still die at the end and still be important to the story. But they're not important to the story. What does the Deep do that's significant this season? He pollutes the ocean. that has nothing to do with the story. When Homelander is holding Huey, I literally thought, oh my god, finally they're gonna do something about it. They actually made a segment where Huey literally says, yeah, I've went through all this stuff and I'm still alive. It doesn't really make sense, and I'm addressing and I'm being aware to it, to the audience. And I was like, oh wow, so they're actually gonna do it. They're actually gonna just pull off the band-aid and make things more impactful, make things more severe. But again, they don't do it. I don't know why they shelter Huey so much, but they just don't kill him off, and that could have made the story so much more impactful. Starlight has been through so much, but I feel like that would have pushed her back from that, like, that negative trope that she was going into, like how she was, like, the show was trying to like show that she's become a very negative person, and she has become Maeve, and I like that progression in her story. I really do like that progression, because it shows how much you can be worn down over time in the face of atrocities, of things that you cannot control by yourself and without help. I think that's a great concept that they held on to Starlight, and I really don't understand people that shit on her Starlight. Yeah, sometimes she can be unlikable, but like does still have a lot of gravity in the story, and I don't like that the story keeps whirling her up as like a really powerful, but then like pushing her back and being like, oh no, you're not that powerful. So they literally made her fly, but they're like, actually, she's not that powerful, guys. Come on, guys. It's just light, you know? Like, light, what? She can blind people also. No, but I feel like that would have added so much, and that would have, like, capped off her arc to finally get back into feeling more strong about it, and maybe, like, entice the boys as a whole, because Huey was, yeah, he fell short in some of the seasons of not being that much of a leader and being kind of like a dick, but, like, Huey is, like, the naive boy that they raised together, and killing him off would have been something that was magical, and the magic and the thing that they wanted to do in Stranger Things, like killing off 11 and saying like, oh, it's because their childlike wonder died. That's stupid, by the way. But they could have done it like that, but similar in a better way. And Ashley, which I like Ashley, but like we put too much focus on Ashley and Ezekiel's and his like influence on Homelander, political and worship and like Catholicism aspects. They kind of like don't know what to do with it, so they just kind of keep going and like rereading points that are like really surface layer, or like they just don't know what to do. Like most of the characters that I think about in The Boys have become tropes and things that I don't like, and that feel very not reflective of themselves throughout the seasons leading up to this point. I could say that as a pure example, Kimiko. And I think a lot of people are like, oh, so you just don't like when women talk. You don't like when women talk and they have funny opinions and they're funny and they're like little on the nose. I'm not saying that at all. I'm saying that like she feels like a completely different person this season, to a point when Frenchie was dying, and I used to have this big grasp on Frenchie and Kimiko's dynamic because it's something that was so powerful and pure. He feels so connected to her. It's been like the most beautiful dynamic ever.
I'm sorry, I just don't feel anything.
Five bitches at the St. Ridge. Fall back shooter like Katie. Back in the kitchen with the curry.
I do like the concepts that they have. Like the concepts of some of the characters still feel like from The Boys. Like I'm not saying this is like a completely terrible fucking like no effort put into the season. No, I can still like some of the concepts. I really liked A-Train's progression of his story. I really love A-Train as a character. He's actually a really good character. I like that they called back to Huey's knowledge in the last episode of technology and things. I like the idea of Butcher and Homelander's ending. These ideas are put into like a circle of I like them, but if they were just a little altered, if they took a little more time to think about it, I think they would have been perfect. I like the idea that he, after Homelander's death, is like, no, I'm gonna send it out anyways, because fuck them soups. But I didn't like the execution of it. I didn't like how everything felt so underwhelming and still played for laughs and still not, it felt rushed. Everything felt rushed. I liked the idea of Homelander turning into a human, but I feel like they should have made him so much more scarier throughout this season and really overpowered and like back to the smarter person that he is. Like they really shat on him this season.
And of course he deserves it, but he needs needs to stay scary.
I feel like it would have been better if they made him have this sense of control that's like, oh, I got the government now. And I feel like I'm God too. And since I can't derive that love and that joy from everyone else and that love and joy from my son and my father, I feel like maybe they should have dropped that Soldier Boy stuff and been like, I can't derive that, but I can go back to being intellectual and I can start like thinking about myself and how I can upgrade and become like the ultimate leader of this whole world. I feel like if they did that and then they took away his powers and then he has to live the rest of his life as a human, I feel like that would have been better. You can't put out these fucking promotional materials and say it's gonna be the biggest finale and then like no one really dies on a mass scale. I don't want people to die on a mass scale. I'm just saying you've been building this up for like ages. I don't know. I know like the idea of Vought still being around and alive and well, Stan Edgar at the front is kind of relatively on par with a lot of companies, but I think it's not really fair to the audience drag them through the mud and be like every season be like, hey, it's not actually Homelander, it's the company. We got to take down the company. We got to be smart about the company. We got to be smart about superhumans and superheroes, but we have to be smart about the company. And then they kind of just allow Vought to keep going, even though they're the ones who made Homelander. They're the ones who made these superheroes that have hurt people and killed people, and it's insane just to do a spin-off and just to earn more money. Like, it's literally selling your soul. Make fun of Marvel, and they like to make fun of superheroes, and they like to put things on the head and spin it around, but they literally have become Marvel with their spin-off shows, and also it's bordering on kind of Walking Dead energy, because Walking Dead literally ends never telling us how did the zombie apocalypse ever start or how can we end it. It just is like, oh, it's ending and there's a spin-off show if you want to watch it. That's also why I didn't cry at Frenchie's death, because it didn't feel like Kimiko anymore. I could go on about that, but Kimiko is a very complex and in-depth character that has a lot of pain and trauma to her, and she does get like a confidence, and she does get like a little bit of her consent back with losing powers, then gaining it again by her choice. I think that's a beautiful arc, but I don't know. It's just when you make someone have that sort of dialogue and play them only as a joke. Yeah, they were a bit of a joke in like season 4 and 3 because they were like playing off Frenchie a little, but she still had her seriousness to it, and she still had her motives to it. It kind of just reduces the character down. So when Frenchie died, I just didn't feel anything, and everything felt very weird because like also Frenchie wouldn't have died like that. Let's just be honest. Homelander is a fucking crazy person, but he's not a crazy person that he wouldn't just rip the balls off a man that has been with a group that has been trying to take him down for years. He would have fucking like demolished him, skinned him alive, or fucking done something crazier. Just ripping out his balls is just like not that much. It's kind of out of the style of Homelander, if anything.
You ever see me fighting in the forest with a grizzly bear? Help the bear! Cause that bitch gonna need it.
Briefly talk about Stan and his family, and that never really being brought up again. Like, his daughter literally got murdered. He literally doesn't really care that much. Like, she was really important to him, and it's just kind of like glossed over. Ryan isn't really even addressed too. He kind of disappears halfway through the season.
Okay, so where is Ryan again? And why is he not playing a bigger role in the story of the final season of The Boys? The entire concept of this show, very similar to what DC did with Injustice, which is what would happen in a world where Superman is evil. But they took that concept and even twisted that on its head and said, what if you had a world with evil Superman, but somehow a course of events still take place in a cosmically ironic way? Evil Superman brings about his own destruction through the birth of his son, a son that he conceived through sexual assault. You see, Homelander is essentially Superman if he was grown in a lab and not raised with any type of affection and not taught right from wrong. Ryan is literally the antithesis to Homelander. He has all the same powers, he has all the abilities, and he has every reason to just do whatever he wants whenever he wants. But he chooses not to because he was raised in a loving home with a loving mother and shielded from the evil, corrupt ways of the world and his father. You can't write a better character that's more perfect to take down Homelander.
And that was like a joke running online before the finale came out, like, where's Ryan?
Literally kills Aunt Grace.
and has no reaction, or even regret. I don't even think he brings it up this season. I don't know. And then he just moves on with his life. And the story does too. And then him just like being like a foster into Mother's Milk is just crazy to me. It's just kind of a crazy way to end that off. And also Mother's Milk never really finishes his arc. He's just kind of there. He was one of my favorite characters at the beginning of the series. I think they removed in season 3 or 4 like scene of him like as a kid. There were a lot of it in the trailers, and then there would always be like little bit of clips of like him like flashing in between that moment. So I thought they were gonna show it in the last season, but they never did. And then they just never talked about his family or his struggles with his family, and then he just automatically marries the wife by default because Todd is dead. I'm not happy with it, and I don't believe anyone should be happy with it too, but I think a lot of people are going to give it a lot of leeway and a lot of like, okay, you're okay, because they want to think that this show ended well, and they want to be blind to the aspects of it finally becoming what it was trying to make fun of. And then they will watch the spin-off show like House of Dragons, you know, like it's just such a sad, like I thought I'd feel more happy at the ending of like this video being like, see, I was right, guys, I was right. But I actually, over that time, I felt so disappointed because The Boys was such a big part of my growing up like life in a really weird way. Like I really, like in high school and all the way through to like season 4, I was so like amped about it and I loved it. I kept like making excuses about it. Like I literally saw Billy Butcher in real life. And that was a huge thing for me. And so for my baby to get like killed is kind of crazy. I don't know. I feel like if things were just a bit more different, I'm not saying that it was absolutely terrible. I'm not saying they didn't put any effort in again. I'm saying that they just, I don't know why they just didn't want to like take it more seriously and take more time with it, and you know, think about all the aspects into play and like the criticisms that they've made, because I really love character studies and character stories and like in-depth characters that do bad things and they still have like their overlying arc of it. I love that shit. I'll suck that up like a vacuum. I'm a sad hater. I'm a sad girl. Thank you so much for watching. Like, subscribe. I'm really happy with the progression of this channel. Thank you so much for 1,000 subscribers. I also really appreciate all you guys in the comment section that's expressed that you're like your deepest, darkest things and everything. It makes me feel so emotional that I am a safe space for you guys. So I just want to say that, and I love you guys so much, and I can't believe we hit 1,000 subscribers. Oh my god, that's so good. It's so good. Again, thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. I really appreciate it. Bye.